Hello, my lovely. Oh, you know what, Amanda? I see your comment there. I do not have government fatigue. I would love for you to ask some political questions. I'm totally fine with that today. I actually have Harkle fatigue. I cannot read on Harry and Meghan anymore. I'm exhausted with those two. I can't anymore. Hi. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is crazy. We're going to read on that because I just read on Brittany. We're going to read on that too. So, oh, thank you, Amanda. I've got a lip going today. I've got this amazing lip going. This is actually like a Revlon. It's a pharmacy one. I can't see the name of the color though. I don't know what the name of the color is, but it's a pinky red. I'm a little fussy when it comes to red because thank you everybody. The pinky reds actually make your teeth look whiter. Ding. So let's giddy up, buttercups. Let's do this. So Amanda, I did actually get a psychic score on the government. And I talked to Zeph about it this morning. Oh, I want to thank everybody for being here. Let me start there. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you for being members of the channel. Thank you for help supporting what I do here. I'm going to be doing something. I'll give you a little bit of news. So I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be doing the card cast for the weekend. So keep an eye out for my shorts. I know everybody loves the pick a card readings, and I think we're going to do pick a card for the next session. And I may break it down. This is the open session. I may break it down for blah, 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 what am I trying to say? Sun sign. So I think that's going to be a little bit of fun. I really want to add more value to the channel. I want you guys to get as much bang for your buck. I am approaching 8,000 subscribers. I'm this close to 7,600. I think I hit 7,600 and then I dropped down. So last month I only got like 40 subs. So it was a weird month. But so look for the pick a cards. So basically what it's going to be, or not pick a cards, look for the card cast every week. Thank you, Ian. I don't know if you're an Ian or an Ian. I always say Ian. One of my best friends growing up his name was Ian. But thank you. So so I'm going to be doing the teaspoon of tarot a little bit more. We're going to be adding more to that and more to that recipe and that playlist. But we'll do Ian, you're an Ian. Awesome. Thank you, Ian. So, I got you right there. Amanda, I see that. Yeah, it does feel like Trump's making some weird decisions. We'll take a look at it. Absolutely. So the card cast for the weekend is just like the card that your sign needs to know what to do, make some choices. I have been averse to doing those kinds of readings because when I go on TikTok, I always fall on, like if you fell on this reading for you, that means he's thinking about you and you should call him. And I think that's terribly dangerous for some people that may be coming out of bad relationships. I don't like doing that. So I'm thinking, if we do like a sun sign, like, hey, this is kind of the climate for your particular sign. Maybe you should watch out for a few of these things. We'll see how it works. I'm going to test it out for the next month or so. So keep an eye out for the shorts. They'll just be me. I'm going to have the clockwork background because I love that clockwork background. But let's giddy up. Let's talk about some politics here. We're going to stick with our Legend of Sleepy Hollow deck. Give it a little knock. That is a tarot thing. Some people do knock on their decks to knock the energy off it. It's really cool. All right, so let me go over here. Let me see what we got. First one, we're going to look at Ian's. I did not see the TMZ report. I have been consumed with craziness today. Tapping the heart, help the algorithm. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be tinkering with some of the stuff that I have on the algorithm. And I think I'm going to be doing a lot more lives. I think, live is kind of the way to go. I'm thinking I may go back to two episodes of lives a week. So, K-Fed. So, interestingly enough, I didn't see the TMZ report, but I did see Popcorn Planet. They'd actually requested, hi, Samantha, they requested an advance copy of the book, and they could not get one because the publisher went and said, we kind of looked at your coverage of some other things on KFed, and yeah, we're not going to give you one. So I thought that was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny. They were like, yeah, you're not going to favorably review this. So welcome everybody who's rolling in. One of the weird things is that when we do these members only, I can't see how many people are in the chat at all unless I go into my YouTube studio, and I don't like, it's very distracting over there. Like, it doesn't really help me do what I need to do. So all right, let's go. So let's see. KFed reported that Brittany was breastfeeding. Wait, come on up. Where's my card view? Bloop. Ah, there we go. That's better, right? Okay. So was Brittany using cocaine while she was breastfeeding? Yeah, don't forget to like that live. Don't forget to like that live. All right. Lady of the Lake, good to see you. I don't know if I said hello. Is this true? Not entirely. It is not entirely true. He is modifying the information. How so? I think he's conveniently leaving out that he was participating in that. You got it, Penny. You said it right there. Those 3 letters, POS. So this is our Hermit card. And I want to focus on the Hermit card just for a second. This Hermit card. Oh, you know what? Let me clip this. So KFed says that Brittany was using substances while breastfeeding. Is this true? This is the spread that I got. I'm just clipping this because I'm going to put it up on as a regular video because I think this is valuable information. Here, it's not entirely true. I think he is utilizing something that happened to vilify her and not taking on any responsibility. The Hermit card here, which is in our suitcase position, the Hermit card is about learning from past mistakes, having this empirical knowledge that helps you move forward. KFed did not. KFed had children before. Did he have children that suffered no ill effects of substances if they were near or around those babies? I'm not going to say anything about his ex, his baby mom. I can't remember what her name was. Lovely girl, though. She's very pretty. I think he is one of those people. It's like, well, didn't do anything bad the last time. Not a big deal. Temperance card. I don't think either of them were behaving well or behaving as parents do. And when you, Shar Jackson, thank you so much, Ian. When you are a celebrity, there are a lot of things that are put in place to make you very comfortable. And I know this because my ex-husband worked in the industry, worked in the music industry, saw plenty of this. They will bend over backward to keep the talent comfortable. So this doesn't surprise me. Oh, I'm sorry. This is our 9 of Wands. I do this every time. Here's our Hermit card. I apologize, kids. So 9 of Wands there. This is letting it all out. I'm going to correct myself. I'm so sorry, kids. Hermit card here. Still, same rules apply. The experience of parenting, the experience of having those children prior or child prior and not seeing any damage or ill behavior affecting them, it doesn't, he's like, well, it's no big deal. It's no big deal, and I have no problem admitting that I had a very terrible time quitting smoking when I was pregnant with my daughter. A very terrible time. And you learn for the second pregnancy. And you got to put him down right away. So I think he saw no ill effects and just kind of proceeded and was like, whatever. The chariot, living in the moment, not thinking about the future. So is this K-Fed in the moment now or before? I think it's before. And I think he was like, well, we're just living in the moment. We're just having, having our good time here, having a great time, enjoying being a celebrity, enjoying being fabulously wealthy, because was she not fabulously wealthy at the time? Absolutely. And we also have not using our highest regard. So that is with K-Fed and Brittany. All right, K-Fed and Brittany. Did he encourage that usage? Did he encourage it? Did he want to get back to the flashy, glitterati lifestyle? Did he encourage her to go back to it? Bad ideas. And he didn't take control and just kind of rode the course. Like, yeah, I think he was busy having a good time and enjoying himself as well. Just going to say that. So, woo, sloppy shuffle, guys. How is Brittany going to respond to this? She is devastated. How are the kids going to respond? Kid number 1, kid number 2. The unfortunate, I pointed this out in my Brittany video that I did. So there, in one of the pictures, Brittany's son looks very, very young and has a Cookies shirt on. Cookies is a cannabis company. They make cannabis. Oh, she made a statement. Thank you, Penny. Penny, what did she say? Can you give me a synopsis in there, please? Cookies is a cannabis company. And I said, well, who goes to Disney World with their, tween in a cannabis shirt? And the reason I know about this cannabis company, I mean, I do partake, but the reason I know it is a cannabis company is because my son came home with one of those shirts from somewhere else. And I was like, absolutely not. You are not wearing this. Do you know what this is? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, you're not going to promote that. You're not going to promote that you're some stoner loser when you're at school. I'm not doing that. I'm not for that. He's not allowed to do that stuff. So when I saw this kid in that cookie shirt, I was like, ooh, Brittany, what are you doing? Why are you letting the kid dress like that? And sure enough, in the thumbnail, you'll see Kevin is wearing a cookie shirt. So, gee, I wonder where he got that idea from. There's certain things that you have to promote with your kids. Good financial sense, good morality, those kinds of things. It's not a good idea to be promoting, being a stoned idiot. But I digress. So I think one of them is like, well, yeah, we kind of knew mom was, doing whatnot, I can't believe she's any different from this. And one of them is like, full stop. Who cares? We don't care. Like, doesn't make a difference. Yeah. Oh, poor Brittany. Poor Brittany. Is this going to hurt or harm her relationship with her son? So look at, there's Jaden and the other one. Let's just do older and younger. Is it going to help or harm her relationship? With the older one, maybe later on we're going to get a better relationship. She just doesn't seem like she is in charge of her faculties. These kids, it looks like they're kind of growing up without a real parent at all. Possibly this is the reason why they reacted so badly to Jamie disciplining them. I have a feeling both of these kids have been raised by adolescents. It's not a shot on Brittany. Brittany's had a rough go. Kevin Federline, I blame him all day long because he had the luxury of staying home and raising those kids, and he was probably playing basketball out in the corner. All right, so the younger one, help or harm? The younger one, I think, is Trish, that's what we call people from Massachusetts. I don't know. They all drive like idiots, so we call them massholes. She's only spent 45 minutes with the oldest in the past 5 years. That is a shame. The younger one has a bit more patience. However, he is going to see her as a problematic mother. He's going to see. So what do we do for Brittany? What does Brittany need from us? What does Brittany need from us? What she needs, what she wants, what she gets. You know, I think if she, I don't want to say lays down her sword and like gets back together with mom and dad, but she needs somebody really to take charge. She can't make, I'm not saying conservatorship. I'm not saying it. She needs somebody to take charge. She needs somebody who really and truly has her best interest in mind. If she were a religious person, I would say a pastor. I would say a pastor. Someone who has a good moral compass. I know there's some pastors that are bad, but we're not going to go there. But she needs somebody with a really good moral compass and good decision-making capabilities. And she needs this. She wants a husband, a boyfriend, a man in her life who is going to take charge, be handsome, have fun, and do all those things. What she gets out of this combination, these are two different things. And I always had a question about Sam Asghari. And I love you guys for hitting that reaction button. Thank you so much, because that does give YouTube a lot of insight into how you like my videos. So Sam Asghari, I had high hopes for him in the beginning. And then I realized he kind of was employed in that position. She needs a good guide, and then she needs a good partner, but she's got to take some time to heal. If we get these two components, she does well. She does well. K-Fed never fit that bill at all. Never fit that bill at all. So unfortunate. I'm going to keep reading on Brittany. I do like her. I think she's an interesting person. For whatever reasons we're watching her, I think she's interesting. So we're going to keep reading on Brittany. All right, let me get to, oh, wait, we're going to get down to this one. There we go. So I did have a psychic score on this, and I did message it over to Zeph earlier. Psychic scores, a sad psychic score. I predicted, I think yesterday, that there was going to be an issue with Hamas returning some of the remains. And it has been announced today. There was somewhere in the vicinity of 30 remains that were still to be returned. 19 of them are missing. So that is an unfortunate psychic score for me. I'm not happy about it, but I knew Hamas was going to have something that they tinkered with. And does this spur Netanyahu on to retaliate, to continue what's going on? I don't know. We'll read on that in another one. But let's see how the relationship is between Netanyahu and Trump. Let's see how that is. How is their relationship? So we're going to do Netanyahu on the left, Trump on the right. The relationship is not transforming. It is not evolving. So let me shuffle again. Shuffle right off to Buffalo. Oh, and somebody asked me about my camera shaking the other day. My camera is attached to my desk, and if I shake my desk, things get crazy. So, all right, here we go. Netanyahu, Queen of Cups. He's coming bearing sweetness. I do think that Netanyahu wants the chaos to end. Um, like him or hate him, love him or hate him, Netanyahu, I think, realizes that continuing to travel down the road of adversity with neighbors, excuse me. Oh my God. Like I did not burp, but I choked. I love ginger ale. Absolutely love it. So I think Netanyahu understands that continuing to battle with his neighbors is just a course that's going to go on forever. I think he has learned his lesson. I think he is ready to hand over what's going on. How is Trump with Netanyahu? They have different ideas. This is a bit different. And you guys know, I did vote for him. I did vote for him. It looks like Trump wants to perpetuate fighting, not necessarily fighting between Israel, Palestine, Iraq, but Trump wants to continue with some of the things there. Now, I'm reading all these statistics. Like, apparently, Trump has stopped 8 wars in 9 years or something like that. I don't know. Like, he's stopped a bunch of wars. I've lost count. I don't know if that's true. But what is he doing here? What is he doing here? We know he didn't get the Nobel Peace Prize. I am not clear here at all. I honestly remember when Trump said it'll be the Riviera of the Middle East for Gaza. I think he still wants that. And I think that perhaps this is where we part ways with Bibi. I think when Trump says, I want to commercialize Gaza, I think things get a little bit different. It's 333, everybody. Make a wish. Manifest all your wishes coming through. 333 here in New York City. So I'm not in New York City, but New York time. I think they're going to differ on this. I don't think that Bibi is going to have much of a say. So to answer the question directly and not be a Meghan Markle about this, I don't think that Netanyahu is blackmailing Trump. I think Trump is making concessions to obtain a different objective. I think he's going for a different objective of taking over Gaza and making that kind of the Guam of the Middle East. I don't know. We have all kinds of military bases on Guam. So how is this going to work out? How is their relationship going to evolve? How do we get them to evolve? So I do think that we're going to get to a stalemate for sure. But I think casting out the objectives and expectations of this peace accord, casting those out, I think is a good idea. I think that's a good idea for Trump. I don't think development of Gaza is going to be within reach. I think it is far too problematic, and it is also handing, handing a baby a nuclear weapon. Like it's really kind of giving them more than they are capable of managing. And it is going to be an influx of foreigners into that particular area. So into Palestine, Gaza. It's going to be a lot of foreigners there. And I think that seeds and breeds more distrust of the West. The West? Can I say the West? I think I can say the West. I think I can say the West. I can certainly say America. It seeds American, anti-proclivities. Let's put it that way. So I think they have to kind of get rid of their ideas of what a ceasefire, post ceasefire, Gaza Israel looks like. I think they have different ideas, Bibi and Trump, and I think Trump is trying to obtain a goal that isn't really out in front of everything. I think he wants to paint the entire the gold Gaza coast, the golden Gaza coast. He really does want to gild it. And I that's lovely. He has a vision of like another Dubai, a mini Dubai there. I know there's some craziness in Dubai, but it's like a little mini Dubai. So interesting. I think that they do kind of get landlocked in that. They've both got ideas. Does Bibi have a secret idea behind the scenes? Bibi have secret plans. Bibi's got agreements with other people that we don't know about. He's got handshake agreements with other entities that he is not being forthcoming about. I don't know who that is. European nations. He is in agreement with some European nations. And it feels a little bit like that mineral deal that we were trying to cut. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah, possibly. It feels like the mineral deal we were trying to cut in Ukraine. And Ukraine was trying to, cut a deal, and other people, Germany was trying to get a piece of that action. It feels like they're kind of negotiating on two different fronts. Or it wasn't Germany. I think the United Kingdom and Germany, I think, were involved in that minerals deal. They were trying to swoop that over for themselves. So is he blackmailing some of our politicians? Bibi. Amanda, I think your suspicions are correct, darling. But I don't think he's getting consensus. I don't think he is getting everyone to get on board with him. I think the ones that, oh yeah, Amanda, this is going to be a bigger reading. It's going to be a bigger reading. So we'll cut this one here. But I do think that there's some funny business with American politicians. I think he's trying to get into specifically people in the Supreme Court. I think he is trying to go through them. And I don't know why, because I guess they're okaying the funds that are coming and going. But yeah, we'll do a bigger reading on this later. All right, I promise. Thank you. Welcome to the fray, Kathy White. How are you, my darling? We have another mod in there. Let's applaud our mods real quick. I'm going to do a little applaud here, a little applause. There we go. For all my friends that are in there doing God's work. No, you're not doing God's work. You're just making sure that chat stays funny and healthy and oh so delicious. Oh so delicious. So, is this our last question? It's 3:40. So, there we go. We got another Brittany question. I'm going to have time for one more after this, I think, guys. So, time for one more after this. All right. So Ian's got a question about Brittany. I'm going to be reading on Brittany a lot. I think she is one to watch right now. And I am going to switch up decks. I'm going to switch from the very jolly Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And I'm going to go over to my Mystical Medleys vintage cartoon deck. The deck is not vintage, just the cartoons are. So are we ever going to find out where? Yeah, absolutely. I got you there, Amanda. That'll come up next. So are we ever going to find out where the 60 million that went missing from Britney's money ever went? Are we going to find out about that? So that's our first question. Are we ever going to find out? The devil is a loud yes, but the devil also is convoluted. Okay. The devil knows the secrets, and even though traditionally in tarot, I do think that this is considered a no card. It's a loud yes for me because we already know the answer. We already know who has that money. So let's take a look. We've got Lou Taylor, who is the woman who I believe she was like the director of the business management. We've got Mumsy and Daddy. We have straight management. And then I'm going to put Brittany on here. I'm going to put Brittany on there. You know why? Because rock stars and pop stars have a tendency to spend a lot of money. It costs a lot of money to be fabulous. So let's start here. Lou Taylor. Lou Taylor has the worst reputation as far as her management of Britney. We're going to flip that over. Page of Wands does not look like Lou Taylor was the director of this, but we're going to give some clarifying cards here. Did Lou Taylor benefit from those missing funds? Boom. There are a lot of people that benefited from those missing funds. We've got 5 of Wands here. So let's look at Mumsy and Daddy. Mumsy and Daddy. So I think Mumsy was living a good life. Yeah, Mumsy didn't have a care in the world. She did not think that money conveyor belt was ever going to end. She was like, well, just spend and have a great time. Now, Daddy was a little bit different. Daddy had a little bit of a different view. And whilst he did not think that her career would come to a screaming, crashing halt anytime soon, I think he was aware of putting some nuts away for later. So let's get a clarifier card on him. And 2 of Swords, I think he evenly fed the pig. And I talk about feeding the pig all the time. So feeding the pig can either be feeding your savings bank, or it can be feeding a, mistress or something like that. It can also be blackmail, those kinds of things. And I think he was feeding the lifestyle and also trying to sock it away for the future. So I think he was doing that. Did he have the money mismanaged? He kind of bought the flash on the guy. So I just want to look at, we're going to pull accountants out here too. Accountants. That would be bad accounting. Just bad practices. Good day, Elizabeth Higgins. How are you? I hope you're having a great morning over there. It's bright and early for you, baby. All right. So this was just her management. 9 of Pentacles, her management has accounted. And this would be like production, like doing the tours, doing the albums, all of the money there. Good morning, Juanita. I do think very much that management was careful about their spending. And I think they have their money accounted for. I think they can say, well, here's my receipts. This is what we did. This is what we spent it on. I think they're totally safe. So that's like management, tour management, all the practicalities, all the expenses that come out of being a did I say hi to Juanita? Good morning, Juanita. Juanita. Drank soda, so I can't do that high note. I'm a little grumbly. But good morning, Juanita. It's good to see you in the chat. So I think that they're going to be fine. Let's look at the accountants here. Oh, who showed up? Wait, I'm going to do it. I'm going to play my little, hang on. There's what my girlfriend Alicia Wicker calls the sneaky snacker. I think there was some creative, fun accounting here. Those books are dead, though. Are we going to be able to see them? They're dead and buried. The account, and this is a terrible thing about rock stars and celebrities. The machine does get very large when you're doing album after album, tour after tour, book. Interviews, you're flying here, you're going there, you're going on vacation, you're trying to rehab, you're doing all these things. It gets very, very complicated. So I think that the accountants, they burned a lot of the books. They've burned a lot of them. So a lot of them are hidden. We're not going to see it very much, but this looks like there was a sieve. I am going to say there's either 2 or 3 people that were involved out of the accounting firm who were making this happen. Do they have something to do with this 5 of Wands up here, this collective that did it? Absolutely. Did Lou Taylor benefit? Yes. Did she push the button, pull the trigger, whatever you want to say? No, these guys did. What about Britney? What about Britney? Did Britney have any responsibility for the loss of this $60 million? I almost said 60,000, 60 million. 2 of Pentacles. That's weird. I always say that there's Britney the person and Britney the machine. And I do think that the expenses were high for both of them. There was a lot of good times and a lot of excess. And a lot of retail therapy. I think there is a lot of retail therapy there. Now, I know that Britney was not allowed to freely spend her money, but she was allowed to wish list. And she would say, I need these things. This is what it takes to be Britney Spears. And I do think that they would agree with that on a regular basis. I don't think, Elizabeth, I say the same thing. Give me a solid $1 million. I'll redo my kitchen and just sock the rest of it away. That's really the way that we have to do that. So I think that Britney was partially culpable because they did deny her access to understanding her finances and being financially literate. I think it's very easy when you're a rock star to say, or pop star as she is. It's very easy to say, well, I just did a tour. I just sold, 1 million albums. Like, why not? Why can't I buy that Maserati? I can buy that Maserati. She did buy a lot of other people things. And I think that falls into this as well. I think, she had a house here. Her sister lives in one of her houses still, even after she wrote that book. So, I think it becomes very easy to say, well, that house is only 10 million. Like, why can't I have it? And that's unfortunate. So I think vacations, specifically like ensemble vacations, was something that ate up a lot of money. Honestly, like if you take a vacation with your entourage, it's going to be $100,000, $200,000, depending on how many people you bring. Add that up, and you can get to 60 million pretty quickly. Pretty quickly. You have to keep in mind, it is expensive to be a pop star. It is expensive to be just a regular person. It really is. Color cut and highlights runs about, $500-$600 here on the East Coast. And that's a low end. That's a low end number. You got to do that every 6 weeks. Brittany had extensions. She had personal trainer. She had a dietitian. All of that adds up. It gets really, really, really expensive. So, I think that maybe miscalculations on her part. And I do think that at some point somebody had said, listen, baby girl, you don't have to worry about anything for the rest of your life. You're good. You're good to go. You are good to go. So, do I think that the accountants are left holding the bag for that 60 million? Yes. I think if we did a forensic, thank God my mom's a beautician. I think if we did a forensic examination of the accountant's books, there would be less than 60 million missing. But I do think that they would find some monies missing, but it would be out of like there are different companies that she has set up within being Britney Spears, and I think that they would see like some, it's not a total amount taken from her. Really, really unfortunate and sad. So, really unfortunate and sad. Poor Britney. Poor Britney. I'll take a minute and just give her some love. Let's drop some sparkles in the chat. Let me drop some sparkles. I have sparkles at the ready. I got pretzels. I'll give her some pretzels. She likes carbs. I know she likes carbs. So we got some pretzels for Brittany. There we go. Oh, I'm streaming to the Psychic News Report too. I forgot about that. Thank you, Penny, for the sparkles. So, guys, this live is coming to a close. However, we do have another live for the general audience, and you guys are going to be magically transported over there when we're done here. But if you want, we can do an Ask Me Anything session right now. So ask me anything. Ask me anything. You can ask me. Don't ask me what color this lipstick is. Elizabeth, yes, I did see the Merkin G-strings. And I saw a picture of Harry and next one. And I think it was the body language guy who put that up, and it was hilarious. I cracked up when I saw that. You like me growing out my hair? This is actually accidental. I'm not doing this on purpose. When I went into Steven the last time at Chop Chop Bang Bang, when I went in the last time, I didn't have enough time to stay for cut and highlight. So I was like, just do my roots and get me out of here. I made a huge mistake. I forgot to make my follow-up appointment, and I did it again. I forgot to make the appointment. So I've got to call him this week. Just send him a text message. He's awesome. Steven's been doing my hair on and off. I shouldn't say he's been doing it, the entire time, but he's been doing it on and off. He's the only person who really knows how to cut my hair really well. A lot of hairdressers, when they see me coming in styled like this, they're like, oh, okay, that's like what her hair looks like. This is not what my hair looks like. My hair, when I get out of the shower, wash and dry, is stick straight. It does not do this. There's hairspray in this. There's mousse and product and all kinds of stuff. Steven has this amazing spray called, it's 7, and it's in a black bottle, and it's like a bonding spray. Oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever. And you put it in does it, Penny? Penny, you have gorgeous hair though. You're like super blonde. I can't get much blonder than this. Steven and I were going to dial it up for this summer, but I didn't get in there. So Thank you, Kathy. Once the menopause hits, you can't get past a certain length. So when I had my daughter, it's so wild. I have a picture of my cousin's bridal shower, and we were putting a veil on her. It's fun bridal shower, or it's her engagement party, and we were putting a veil on her just for fun. And I'm putting it on, and my head is tipped back, and my hair is touching my butt. And I was like, wow, like I really had some long hair. It was jet black. It was really, really black. So, but when I was having my kids, my hair was in great shape. I just didn't do anything with it. I just constantly had it in a ponytail. I just, washed, dry, and did my roots. I didn't have highlights. I didn't do anything like that. So, it was all in good fun, all in good fun. Yeah, honestly, like, why would anyone get one of those G-strings? That is ridiculous. I'm not to quote Adina Monsoon, but I looked in the mirror and I had a G-string on. It looked like a sumo wrestler. Yeah, my G-string days are over. I never found them comfortable. And I never really saw the value in not having panty lines. Like, one of the things, like, because I surfed and I skated, I never wore underwear in the summers. Like, I will say that I never wore underwear in the summers. I would get up in the morning and I would just put a bikini on, and I would either go surfing or I would skate up to the beach. And I would skate up to the beach on a longboard with my longboard over my head. I was incredibly strong. I was incredibly strong. And I would just, I'd come back, I'd throw another bikini on. It was great. I lived in Belmar, New Jersey, and that was like one of the things. Like, I remember my tattoo artist, he always used to have board shorts on under his pants. Like, he was really skinny. He's still really skinny. But he would have like board shorts under his pants. He really didn't surf. He was a sailor, but like, everybody kind of did that. Like, everybody kind of ran around in, their bathing suits all the time. You're dumb and young and in your 20s. Like, what do you know? But I always thought it would be like so cool to like go live in like Fiji or Tahiti and like just do that all the time. Like, live on Gilligan's Island. I would live on Gilligan's Island if I could. I would do it. Elizabeth Higgins, I have a solution for you. So first of all, collagen. My girlfriend sells collagen. She swears that it helps. But Ashley Black, yeah, you can look up ashleyblackguru.com. I think that's her website. She makes a product called Fascia Blaster, and it gets rid of your cellulite. It reduces the tension in your flat fascia. She's really, really cool person. But she makes a little itty bitty face one. I use it on my face. I carve out my cheekbones. I get rid of my gels every morning or every evening. I do it in the evening. But with that fascia, with the little mini face fascia blaster, you can do your hairline up here and you can do your whole head. And she actually has some protocols for returning hair to fullness. It's pretty amazing. So Ashley Black, the story about that product is really, really cool. She's a physiotherapist by trade for professional athletes, and she created this fascia tool called the Fascia Blaster. And one of her patients took it home, and his girlfriend called up and said, "Hey, I used that Fascia Blaster because I was sore from working out, and it got rid of my cellulite. What do you think of that?" And she was like, "That's wild." So she started experimenting with it, and now that's what she sells it as. But if you have any kind of pain or like fibromyalgia, people that have fibromyalgia have great success with it. It brings blood to the area. It untangles the fascia. It's great for after workouts. I have a number of products from her. And it was so funny because the guy who trains the police officers, he's also a police officer here in town. Greg was talking to him one day, just at work. And he said, "Oh, I have this tool that I use after I work out, and I get my cuts really good." And he mentioned something about fascia, and Greg was like, a fascia blaster? And he goes, yeah, how do you know that? My wife has that. He goes, yeah, it really works. It makes a huge difference here. Like this is something that I work on, like getting rid of my jowls. Like I watch my mom to see, oh, I love cupping. No, cupping is a little bit different. Yeah, very bad time for fibro, agree. But I watch my mom and I have the same jowls that she has, and I also have the same neck pattern that's coming in. So I'm very careful about doing my neck and doing my jowls. So but it's wild. You can actually see a difference after you use it at night. I can actually see my cheekbones cut in. It's pretty cool tool. So sorry, so enough about that. So listen, guys, I'm gonna shut this one down. I'm gonna start up the other one. So mosey on over there. We'll be talking in the chat over there. I'm gonna go take a human moment and run to the bathroom real quick. But thank you again for being members. Thank you, all of my mods. I'll do a little applause here. We'll do a little applause. Where's the applause? Where's the applause? There we go. So we will jump on over there and just give me a couple minutes to start it up. Stop me, little Mick Jagger. And we'll continue this until like 5:30. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks again.